Grab a drink and lower your expectations. It's I'm leaving right after this drink. Rock and roll, whiskey, and other stories. And here's your host, Brian Shaw.
Cheers. Yes. Nothing like the sweet nectar of Jack Daniels, a little bit of ginger ale to get the blood going. Yeah. New episode of the podcast. We're going to talk rock and roll top to bottom, front to back tonight. We are talking Mötley Crüe, Tesla Extreme. We're also talking Rob Zombie, Marilyn Manson, The Who, and the band Orgy. It's going to be a great podcast. Just giving you, a heads up as we get into things tonight. But first, let me thank everyone for liking, sharing, subscribing, or supporting the podcast in any way that you do or have. It is greatly appreciated, including scanning that QR code right there and buying a shot of whiskey. I mean, I'm telling you, it's cheaper than buying a cup of coffee. Anyhow, I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm just saying, sending me money for a shot of whiskey it's also going to a better cause. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing that out there. Where do I begin tonight? Well, let's see. Let's just start with the Mötley Crüe, Tesla, and Extreme show. As I bought some lawn tickets for this show because they were doing just such a great deal on tickets, like $25 a piece. I'm like, listen, I'm going to spend double or triple that at the bar on the night out. So let's just go and see some rock and roll, and I'll make sure I blow even more money because I'm going to buy a few beers while I'm at the concert. Makes total sense, right? I'll tell you, man. Anyhow, as you know, it costs an arm and a leg anymore to have any fun at any of these concerts and having just a beverage or two, let alone if you want like 4. And I think I'm doing on the low side. I can't imagine what most people are spending in a place like that. I bet you they're dropping hundreds of dollars on booze based on what you see and how you see people acting and stuff. But anyhow, let's get back to it. Get back on track. Extreme. These guys, great. I really don't have a lot of even bad things to say about any of these bands tonight, quite frankly, as shocking as that sounds. Even though I was not interested in seeing Mötley Crüe at all. But we'll get to them in a second. Extreme, they were great. Gary Cherone still sounds great. Nuno Bettencourt, dude, this guy, guitar hero, of course. And I haven't seen Extreme since probably the early 90s, I think when they toured with ZZ Top when I lived in St. Louis still. And I will just say, man, he was killing it. And you can see the footage online of the show here in Tampa, and I watched it, and it was great. And again, those guys sounded really good. They had a nice set list that went through, their catalog of material. And again, I'm not a huge fan of theirs. I liked Porno Graffiti, and I liked the other album. I think it was 3 Sides to Every Story, I think is what that one was called. Those are about the only 2 records in their catalog that I really got into. The latest record, never spent a lot of time with it. But I heard it was great. Just never spent a lot of time with that one. Now let's just move on to Tesla. Tesla, the main reason that I went to this concert, and these guys, in my opinion, have not lost a step in their shows over the years. Like, they're still crushing it. Jeff Keith still sounds really good, man. Frank Hannon's just incredible guitarist. Dave Rude out there also. So, man, these guys are sounding great. The only thing that I would say on the negative side to Tesla was I wish they would have started off with Coming At You Live instead of Modern Day Cowboy. Outside of that, set list was great. It kind of went through their entire career of all their studio albums, so that was cool. I think that might have been only like the second or third time I've heard them do Mama's Fool. And man, it was just a great set by those guys. And it was only like 9 songs even, so it was actually a pretty short set list, all things considered. But, they got a new album out called Homage, if you guys are interested in that. It's another covers record. And, they do a really cool version, at least for me, of Night Moves from Bob Seger. They do the Ballad of Curtis Lowe from Skynyrd, so that's pretty cool. So you may want to check that record out. Now, let's get into Mötley Crüe. Here is the thing, man. I honestly was not expecting the crowd that was there because it's Mötley Crüe. And yeah, we can say, yeah, okay, they bring out the people, this and that. But the heat that band has taken over the last however many years, right? Between, the firing of Mick Mars, between, Vince Neil not being able to sing, or the bad lip syncing that they got going on, that you see on YouTube and stuff like that. I mean, this band has taken a beating, not to mention the fact that they also promised us they wouldn't tour anymore how many years ago. And yet here they are again touring. So it is what it is. I did not go to see them. I'm kind of like over that band for the most part. I still like, listening to their studio albums, but even not like I used to. If you reach that point in time, maybe in your life where you're going, dude, man, how did I ever like this song? I kind of reached that, I'll be honest with you, with Dokken. Dokken is a perfect example of that, where I reached the age where I went, what? Why did I like this record? Like, no, it's just not that good. And also because I met Don Dokken once, and he was just a terrible person. Just throwing it out there. But anyhow, meanwhile, let's get back to Mötley Crüe. The show overall, man, was pretty good. Lights, pyro, the whole thing. Of course, everybody's going to be impressed by that. You're always going to dig that, right? Sound-wise, okay. Like Vince is, like one of my friends was like, well, he sounded better than he has in years. And I'm like, well, is that really a compliment? I don't know. But it was all right. Again, I didn't go to see Mötley Crüe. I went there to see Tesla and Extreme, and I was happy once those two bands were over. And we ended up staying for about 11 or 12 songs of Mötley Crüe. And here's a band that really doesn't say anything for the first 8, 9, 10 songs. And then Home Sweet Home. And then they got to give me the history and the backstory on Home Sweet Home. Like Nikki starts talking, then Tommy starts talking. And it's like, can you guys just play the song? Like, honestly, the only person I've ever liked really talking and telling stories between songs was Axl Rose in like 1987 to like 1992. Because he was just like volatile. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know what a guy was going to say and whatever. But these two was just like, guys, get on with the song. Let's go. Play the song. Man. Then they finally did, and you're like, all right, should we go? And we were like, yeah, let's get out of here. It was hot. It was miserable outside. Like, it was just so humid and disgusting out. Here's the other thing about that show. Dudes walking around with no shirts. This is just unacceptable. Like, listen, because here's the thing. Dudes walking around without shirts are the same people that are going to a nude beach. The people you don't want to see naked are the ones wearing no clothes. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what's going on with dudes walking around with no shirts. And if you've got more hair on your back than you do on your head, you definitely need to have a shirt on. Just say, that's the public service announcement of this podcast right there, okay? Remember that one. I mean, wow. Yeah. So, listen, I don't go shirtless. There's a reason I don't go shirtless. Neither should you. So, I'm just saying. It's kind of like the girls who are walking around, they just want to show their boobs, right? And you're like, nah, didn't want to see those. That's what I'm saying, man. So, stop. It's kind of like, we talked about going to, Kid Rock and stuff, where the, people had on the cutoff blue jean shorts and cowboy boots that were dudes. Don't do that. We might have to get into like a do's and don'ts for concerts in one of these podcasts. That's a great idea, actually. But anyhow, it was just one of those nights, man, where there was no breeze, and it was just like, damn, it was a typical like humid Florida evening that was just miserable. And even at one point, Tits McGee, great friend, she was like, I think I just got to take my shirt off. And I'm like, hey, you should. But she's not, her boobs aren't falling out of her top, even though they're nice boobs. But even she isn't taking those things out at a concert. You know what I'm saying? So, geez. By the way, if you scan the QR code, you can also buy her a shot of whiskey. All right. So that kind of takes care of the Mötley Crüe, Tesla, and Extreme show. Then it was like, all right, let's go to Rob Zombie. Well, I ended up getting some the hookup with a good friend of mine to go see some Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, and actually got seats for this show. So that was nice. That was awesome. And thank you, Mr. Michaels, for doing that, man. It is greatly appreciated. We're actually going to be talking to him, I believe, in our next episode. We're going to talk to a radio personality and going to get some lowdown on some of his experience and some of the people that he's met and talked with over the years, and just get some other insight into the world that I come from and that he is still in after 40 years or something crazy. Anyhow, where are we at? Marilyn Manson, Rob Zombie, The Who, and the band Orgy. Now, here's one thing. I don't know anything about the band Orgy other than when I used to play the cover that they did of Blue Monday. Here's what also I remember about the band Orgy was that back when that band and that song came out, what was the promotional item that they sent to me at the radio station at WROV? If you guessed porn, you'd be correct. If you guessed orgy porn, guess what? You got a bonus. So I can remember showing up to the office one day and boom, there's a UPS box full of orgy pornography. Hey, you know. And if I remember correctly, wasn't too bad. Not really my thing, but, you know, hey, wasn't too bad. I don't know where I'm going with this anyhow. But we basically walked in because they were first, and we walked in at the end of their set. And it was also my first experience seeing The Who, spelled H-U. Wow. These dudes were kick-ass. They're from Mongolia. They kind of got this Rammstein thing going. Like, you know, Rammstein sings in German and does all that stuff. These guys like sing in Mongolian. And it's fucking cool. I mean, it is so awesome. And, you know, they're heavy. Their instruments, dude, are crazy. Like, these headstocks on their instruments are, like, designed all crazy and customized. Like, man, they're wild. And just a great show. Really, really enjoyed those guys, especially my first time ever hearing them. And I got home the next day and was like, dude, let me check out that band. And I was like on YouTube watching a ton of videos from those guys. And yeah, dude, they got themselves a new fan after seeing them live. So let's talk about the people watching before I go any further, because wow, people watching at Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson. Oh, my friends, that was good shit. Like, that could have been the best people watching all summer long of going to shows. I'm not even kidding, because it was like a Hot Topic store in like 1994 or 2 or whatever, if that store was even around then. But it was goth people, lots of goth people. Lots of like black fishnet stockings, black combat boots, makeup. Yeah, it was crazy. And yeah, I kind of felt like we were the outcasts, just dressed in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like regular tennis shoes. Like, I felt like, wow, they're looking at us going, who are these weirdos? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that people watching was definitely something else. So yeah, good times. Now, Marilyn Manson, I've never seen Marilyn Manson in all these years of going to shows. And, you know, and again, to be honest, I have not been a huge fan of Marilyn Manson throughout his career. I like probably about 10 songs throughout his entire catalog. I've always felt his cover of Sweet Dreams was always just weird and like just creepy. And which, again, it goes with his shtick and it did its job. But he was really, really good, man. Like, I was very impressed with his show, and he had a really cool set list, and you know, just good times by Marilyn Manson, man. Again, I was impressed. Rob Zombie was the closer. I think it was kind of a co-headlining thing, but his set I don't think was really as long as it was supposed to be. I think he had some issues like getting things set up or whatever before his set, but dude, this guy still crushes it. I'll get into my meeting of Rob Zombie in a future podcast, but let's just say as a person, I am not a big fan of Rob Zombie, but showman-wise, this dude crushes it. This guy puts on a hell of a show. He spares no nickels or dimes or dollars when it comes to putting on a great show for the audience. And it was definitely the same this time around, man. He came out, he killed it. Him and Marilyn Manson actually came out and did a version of Helter Skelter together, and that was super cool. And yeah, man, just awesome times by all of these artists. And I can honestly tell you that for spending, roughly $100 between all the tickets, dude, worth every nickel. And then even getting the hookup for the seats made this show even better. And as I don't think I've been that close going to see Rob Zombie at any point before. So overall, man, an absolutely kick-ass last couple of weeks, seeing some great rock and roll, and so much fun. Now, we're rolling into almost the end of August now. It's crazy how quickly time is flying. This week, we've got Tyler Bryant, Blackstone Cherry, and Buck Cherry. This is going to be a great show. I can't wait to go and see this tour. And then next week, man, we're going on a little road trip to see Zakk Wylde once again with Dark Chapel and Zach Sabbath. So definitely looking forward to that road trip to Houston, Texas. So it's going to be a great time, and looking forward to a couple of more shows. Again, coming up on the podcast, we've got we're going to interview, like I said, a buddy of mine from the radio industry. We're going to talk to him, I believe, in the next episode, and we're going to get Gary Hoey on the show here in the coming episodes as well. We've just been trying to get schedules together so that we can, talk about what's going on in his world and his Christmas tour that's coming up. How crazy, dude. We're already talking about Christmas shows. It's not going to be too long before the Trans-Siberian Orchestra shows probably go on sale. And the next thing you know, we're talking again about the TSO. And just, wow, man, like time is flying. But again, thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. It is greatly appreciated. As always, man, if you want to scan that QR code and buy myself or my awesome friend Tits McGee a shot of whiskey, you are welcome to do so. Otherwise, I'm just happy that you're tuned in and you're checking out the podcast. And until next time, my friends, cheers.
Well, you made it to the end. I knew I liked you. Hit like and subscribe, and send the show to a friend. I'm Nikki. Thanks for hanging out. And somebody please close his tab.